And now, forecast first on Ozarks Fox News.
All is quiet across the Ozarks this fine Thursday evening. Temperatures are warm. It feels like summertime out there. Still in the low 80s back along I-49, 78 in Springfield. Cooler to the northeast in Rolla, where it's currently in the low 70s. Our Friday forecast, kind of a tricky one, as it looks like we are going to see a storm threat move across northern and central parts of Missouri, maybe along I-70, and then make a turn maybe down toward the southeast into areas like Eldon and Rolla, possibly as far south as Eminence. I think here in Springfield we're on the line for any sort of shower threat, but we'll go ahead and throw some clouds in there and the chance for a shower. But the afternoon will be reserved for heat and breezy winds, as it looks like we may hit 90 for the first time this year here in Springfield. More on that and the hot weather we'll find into this upcoming weekend in your forecast. Ozarks Fox News at 9 starts now.
Real, new, now. This is Ozarks Fox News at 9.
Welcome to Ozarks Fox News at 9. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
And I'm John Adams. We start off tonight with your top headlines from around the world. These stories are real, new, now. Iran's military claims it shot down a U.S. surveillance drone in its airspace. But the U.S. military says it happened in international airspace. This is the first time Iran has directly attacked the American military. President Trump said the country made, quote, a very big mistake.
Another American tourist has died in the Dominican Republic, bringing the total to at least 9 deaths since last June. Officials in DR or the U.S. have not indicated these deaths are connected. About 2.2 million American tourists visited the Dominican Republic last year. Officials in the country say it's still safe to vacation there.
And for the first time in 14 years, a Chinese president makes a state visit to North Korea. Some analysts believe this visit could spur some movement in the nuclear talks between the North and the United States. Chinese President Xi will be in Japan next week, where he's expected to talk about trade with President Trump.
Making local news now, one of Springfield's largest employers has fewer employees tonight. Mercy Hospital announcing layoffs as part of a workforce reduction plan to save money. Yeah,
we started hearing about the layoffs from workers yesterday, but it wasn't until today that Mercy confirmed the news. Madison Heaver is live outside Mercy Hospital this evening. Madison, did Mercy give a reason why these layoffs occurred?
Actually, John, no, they didn't. They said, they're citing financial issues within the hospital, and they're saying, they're not going to compromise patient care as a result of these layoffs. Now, I did talk to the Missouri Hospital Association, who say that, these layoffs aren't surprising because of the changing healthcare system.
Knowing what I know about the announcement there, it is in fact not at all surprising. The pressures on hospitals are intense, and the demand to reorganize is high.
Dave Dillon with the Missouri Hospital Association says when hospitals are looking to restructure, they often lay off workers to start.
More than 50% of the cost of running a hospital is in the employees that work in a hospital. Hospitals are under tremendous financial pressure. Hospitals in Missouri are hurting right now.
We haven't been able to get information from Mercy about which departments are being hit the hardest with layoffs, but Dillon says in a lot of cases it isn't people dealing directly with patient care.
It's not particularly uncommon for hospitals to conduct a reorganization that leads to layoffs, and a lot of those tend to be, the back office people that were in more administrative positions, or in the billing, or in the components for coding.
Dillon says even though some hospitals look like they're expanding and building more locations,
hospitals within hospital systems, even if they look profitable, those hospitals may be subsidizing other hospitals within that system that are actually losing significant amounts of money.
He says health systems have to find a way to balance financial burdens while also providing efficient care.
No hospital organization wants to lay off its staff. On the other hand, no hospital wants to have excessive amounts of cost. It's a matter of striking a balance between how do you run the most efficient operation as far as a hospital operation goes.
We did reach out to Mercy several times to get an interview, but they're saying they're not doing any interviews right now. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Madison. New at 9 tonight. 2 more Ripley Entertainment employees have been indicted in the deadly duck boat sinking at Table Rock Lake that happened nearly a year ago. 17 people died on July 19, 2018, when the duck boat sank. The indictments say profit came before safety. Curtis Lanham was the general manager of Ride the Ducks Branson. The indictment says he did not train his employees on monitoring the weather. Charles Baltzo is also charged. He was the acting manager on duty that night. He's accused of negligence for not communicating with the captain about severe weather. Both face 17 felony counts for each person who died, plus misdemeanor counts for passengers who were injured. The boat's captain, Kenneth McKee, has also been charged in this case. We received a statement from Ripley Entertainment today, which says in part they continue to cooperate with the U.S. Attorney's Office and continue to offer support for their employees as this process moves forward.
A retired Lebanon school administrator has been charged with sexual misconduct. Thomas Luthi Jr. was charged after allegedly exposing himself to a 9-year-old and touching a 17-year-old inappropriately. Luthi faces 3 charges of sexual misconduct, which means he could spend anywhere between 15 days to 6 months in jail if convicted.
We have a traffic report for you now. MoDOT wants to make sure that if you drive on Highway 65, you are well informed and prepared for its upcoming project. Tonight, MoDOT staff met with the public to talk about this project.
I've assured them that the best way forward is to get this done as quickly as possible. That'll cause the less inconvenience in the end.
Different parts of the highway will be closed throughout construction, just like the project in 2017. It all begins August 4th. Southbound lanes from Sunshine to Battlefield will be repaved. And then on August 10th, repaving will go from Battlefield to the James River Freeway interchange. Work starts back up on September 6th and go northbound from the interchange back up to Battlefield. On September 14th, it stretches from Battlefield back up to Sunshine with a completion date of September 20th.
We have some good news for you now tonight. It may look like just another party, but Farmers Park is hosting a party that's hoping to do a whole lot more. Each month, the summer series Parties in the Park will benefit one local charity. This month, the focus is on Harmony House.
I remember the fact that we are the largest shelter of children in the state. And I recognize that all of those children are having a great time, and the families are having a wonderful time, and that's what I want for the entire community. So I am humbled that they're here. I hope they're having a great time.
Families gathered at the park earlier this evening for some delicious treats and the chance to interact with some childhood icons. You just saw there Batman and even Mickey Mouse all showed up for the festivities tonight. Lots of local vendors also showed up for the event. In case you missed it, be sure to keep an eye out for the next party in the park. That is coming next month.
Moving to weather coverage now. Summer is officially here. Well, on Friday it will be. And you may want to go to the pool with your family. But there are some things to keep in mind when you get there.
Because sometimes what may look like harmless playing could actually be drowning or worse. Francis Lynn spoke to local lifeguards about some things to watch out for. Francis.
Well, lifeguards say before you head out, you should be aware of the facility you're going to. Remember to only use U.S. Coast Guard approved flotation devices and teach your kids those safety rules before you go to the pool. If your kid's arms and head is above water for less than a few seconds at a time, something might be wrong. And even though a lot of lifeguards are teenagers, they fully understand the responsibility they carry.
Most of our lifeguards are under the age of 20, so it is a lot of responsibility to put on somebody that age. It just takes a lot of reassurance and a lot of practice for those skills and make sure that they know what a drowning looks like, how to react under pressure.
I didn't really know what I was doing in the very beginning. It was a very strong learning process, but once I grew into the mode of, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm saving kids, I'm going to save their lives, it just made me just go full for it and just be so confident in it.
So, Francis, what type of flotation devices are not approved?
So the water wings, which are on your arms because they don't help with your head or body at all. Ski belts are also not the best, so if you can't swim, it's best to just wear a life jacket. All
right, of course, safety is always the top priority in the pool. Francis, thank you. Well, turning out to weather, a pool's going to be a nice place to be here the next couple days, James.
You better believe it. I bet it's going to be packed at the pools tomorrow afternoon and then again Saturday afternoon. Those are your days to be outside. If you like heat, you like sunshine, because after that, we get back into a stormier pattern again. I'll have more on that next.
You're watching Ozarks Fox News at 9 with John Adams, Jennifer Abreu, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner. And now, weather, real, new, now, with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Oh, the summer muggies. They're going to be cranking up here over the next couple of days. Outside right now, it's warm and humid and quiet, too. We got through today with dry conditions. Here's a look at radar right now. It's a clean sweep across the area. There have been a couple of severe storms, though, that did fire up to the northwest, the KC area. Those are fading right now, but additional showers and thunderstorms coming together across eastern Colorado and western areas of Nebraska and western Kansas. This is the area to watch overnight tonight. We've got these storm triggers that are in place, and when those ingredients are going to help to keep those storms going throughout the night tonight and into the morning on Friday. So where do they go? Well, based on all of the ingredients on the map, it looks like that cluster of thunderstorms is going to continue to push east overnight tonight right along I-70 and should sweep into the KC area tomorrow morning, probably around sunrise. And when they move in, they're going to come in with a bang. Lots of lightning and thunder and also some strong winds, I think, and the possibility of even some hail. Then the question is, where do they go from there? Because we've got this boundary that's going to be draped from the Kansas City area down to about West Plains, right in here. And this typically, in this sort of setup, would be a favored track for storms to want to take. So I think there's a real possibility that these storms may try to bend toward the southeast and surge southeast across at least parts of the Ozarks, areas from, say, Warsaw, southeast to Eminence and north. That is where I think there is going to be the risk of storms Friday morning. And I wouldn't be surprised if this cluster of storms doesn't send a boundary south, maybe into southwest Missouri with a threat of a few showers Friday morning. After that, it looks like we will find those south to southwest winds pushing that warm air back to the northeast, and it looks hot and breezy for the afternoon over southwest Missouri and northern Arkansas, where we should see highs in the low 90s. More questionable over our northeastern counties and northern counties, where again I think we will have that morning round of thunderstorms. That'll probably try to reinforce this boundary, and as air moves over the top of that shallow layer of more stable air, we're probably going to find a bit more cloud cover here, and that may keep temperatures cooler. So it looks like maybe mid-80s for highs in areas like maybe Miller and Marys County and Phelps County and Dent County. Meanwhile, on the other side of that boundary, we're looking at highs in the low 90s. Here's our hour-by-hour forecast. Put that together for you. Overnight tonight looks quiet. Towards sunrise, again, watching storms racing toward the Kansas City area. Those head east, and then I think there'll be more of a bend toward the southeast during the morning, and then that activity pushes out of the area early to mid-afternoon on Friday. And notice most of the area looking at mostly sunny conditions, but more cloud cover to the north and east. As far as temperatures are concerned, looks like this could be where we get some rain-cooled conditions with lows there in the middle and upper 60s Friday morning. Meanwhile, areas that really aren't touched by rain, we're likely looking at lows in the low to mid 70s and highs tomorrow in the lower 90s. Mid 80s though in Rolla. Winds again breezy out of the south to southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday's the day. If you've been itching to do some floating, or you just want to go boating out on a Table Rock Lake or Lake of the Ozarks, Saturday's the day to do it. It'll be hot, it'll be humid, and it looks pretty quiet. But as this trough in the western U.S. shifts east, we should see a stormier pattern unfolding across the Ozarks by Sunday. So here's your 7-day forecast. Friday, hot and humid after that storm threat in the morning, 91 for the high. On Saturday, partly cloudy skies, about 90 for the high. We'll be looking for waves of storms starting up Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then another wave will likely move through Sunday night into Monday morning, and then it will turn quiet again, and notice those temperatures will head right back up.
Wow, the summer muggies.
They're here.
They are here. Viewers Club.
That number tonight, 240-829-JACKPOT, $400.
All right, Jamie. Thank you. We're ready to give some money away. Well, we're just a few weeks away from America's birthday, and that, of course, means fireworks. That's where we find our Jesse Inman tonight. Jesse.
Yeah, guys, that's right. After the break, we're going to tell you about the start of fireworks season here in Missouri, and also why it's really a year-round business. Plus, we'll light this baby up, too. That's next.
making local interest now, today sparks the start of fireworks season right here in the Ozarks.
We already have some here,
Yeah,
but these are not real fireworks, just on the screen. From today until July 10th, you can purchase fireworks outside the city limits of Springfield and in surrounding communities. So tonight we find our Jesse Inman at R&R Fireworks with more on how we can start off the holiday with a bang. Jesse.
Yeah, guys, that's right. We're right here on the northeast corner of West Bypass and Sunshine, where R&R Fireworks has set up right here in front of Mike's Unique Collectibles and Flea Market for about the last 10+ years. They, like many other fireworks operations around the country, get their supply from Fireworks Over America, who also operate as the Fireworks Supermarket on I-44, both east and west of Springfield. And we spoke to their vice president of Fireworks Over America, Michael Ingram, and he says this is the big kickoff to the season for residents, but their work really never stops.
It takes us every bit of 9 months to import the product needed to supply the nation with its fireworks. We'll supply everybody from Bangor, Maine to Seattle, Washington. We supply all your mom and pop tents. You know, if you drive around Springfield and you see the stands on South Campbell, West Sunshine, Nixa, Ozark, they're going to be getting their fireworks from us as well.
We open this thing up at like 7:30 in the morning. I almost like this more than Christmas. I used to like Christmas a lot, but I just love fireworks. I mean, a lot of your friends and people that you only see this time of year.
Well, guys, I'll tell you something here. That was fun. You missed most of that there, but you won't be able to buy any fireworks inside the city limits, and really the only things that you can use are novelty items like snappers or the party poppers, snakes, smoke bombs, and some sparklers. And last time I checked, we are outside city limits, so I'm going to go restock on this baby, and we're going to light up the night here, but we'll send it back to you in Springfield. Jesse Inman, Ozarks First.
Well, hopefully, Jesse,
it got dark all of a
hopefully
sudden.
he can find a lighter and relight that thing, because I think it got a little bit of a fuse left.
It was actually fun. We got to watch a little bit of it before it went off,
It was
before
cool
we
while
came
it
back on the
lasted.
air. So, yeah, that was fun. Well, thanks, Jesse.
Yeah. Well, switching gears now, we all have to eat and make ends meet at the same time. Sometimes, though, it's a tough decision to make the best decisions when funds are limited.
Our Brian Calfano takes us on a food shopping trip with a local teacher.
It's what I can afford, and we're fed, and our bellies are full.
This puts the question of buying local or otherwise in a much different light than as a matter of simple taste. It's down to dollars and cents, and a constant decision for area residents struggling to feed their families. Danielle Jeffries is married with 5 children. She told me she's struggled for years with what and where to buy on a limited budget. But now she helps others navigate nutritional needs as part of classes she runs at the Fairbanks. On a recent shopping trip, Danielle described some of the appeal of those not-so-good food choices.
The packaging's pretty. The packaging is, it's awesome, so you feel like it's okay to eat.
But a lot of folks who are trying to make ends meet.
And that's what they can afford. They can't afford anything else.
It's a generality, but the cheapest food is not usually found in locally owned shops. And while locally owned may mean the highest quality and choice for some products, residents at or near the poverty line may not know what to make of some of the options.
You have this idea in your head of what you want to buy, but you go into the store and it's kind of intimidating because you're like, what's all this stuff? It's good for me, but what do I buy? How do I know what to do? And that's the stigma.
Since the community's poorest tend to end up at low-cost national chain stores for their food, Danielle walked me through some of the temptations found in food choice. Processed and high-sodium options abound.
Look at the salt. Look at that sodium, 550
The abundance of cheap but unhealthy food makes local residents and their families vulnerable to health concerns. The slick new options for food delivery from stores provide convenience, but not necessarily nutrition, depending on what one orders. But there is one seasonal local option that might help. Danielle encourages her Fairbanks classes to shop at farmers markets because the food is healthy and often affordable. For example, if you're on food stamps, you can get double the food for the money spent at the market. This might be but one way for families to eat local and, most importantly, well.
Anywhere in the Ozarks, there's farmers markets everywhere.
Brian Calfano, Ozarks First.
Very interesting and eye-opening, and our focus on what people buy is on full display this weekend.
Yeah, it's the Buy Local Ozarks Expo tomorrow and Saturday at the Springfield Expo Center.
And we will be there actually on Saturday around 12:30 at the Expo Center.
Yeah,
so
come say hi.
Come say hello. We'll have more right after this.